So tell me, son. Tell me exactly how it happened.
Well, I can tell you. I'm gonna tell you how it happened. I don't give a damn if you believe me or not. Hell, I wouldn't believe it if I didn't see it with my own eyes. But you want to hear the story? The truth? Just how it happened? Well, I can tell you, but like I said, you ain't gonna believe it. This particular event occurred a year ago, right up there on that there mountain. It was high noon, and me and my brother John Boy were hunting deer. Now, as you can see, that there mountain full of cliffs. Very dangerous. Gotta be a pro to make your way up there. Had an uncle, fell clean off the face, smashed his head right open. It looked like cracking watermelon. Anyway, so we were making our way up the creek slowly. Not to disturb the deer. They is smart little buggers, they is. But we was smarter. We walked with our shoes off as to not make waves. Slowly, oh so slowly, we crept up the creek around the giant bend and settled in behind that giant oak. You know the one. We were prepared to wait it out. We brought jerky and milk. And that milk was right off of my goat Matilda's titty. Fresh as a daisy. After a couple of hours, we decided it was time to move. It was reaching late afternoon and we got the itching. Mama was expecting us by sundown, and by damn she was expecting some cooked meat today. I'll tell you what, Mama don't like it when we show up empty-handed. My poor arse was still sore from last time we didn't get a buck. I looked at John Boy and he looked at me. We started our way up the bottom of the cliff. Now that there bottom, it wasn't all that bad on account of those footpaths and those engines made way back when. But it was still slippery. When we got up about 50 feet, we came upon a flat space. It went a ways back and kind of spread out on the sides. I hear tale about how some Indians used to go up there and do some fancy dancing and such. They left crap all over the place up there. Even some of those large poles with pictures cut right in the bark. I drew my own on one of them. You would have liked it. It was my twig and berries. You know, my cock and balls. Best picture I ever drew. All of my friends said anyway. Some days you can find a deer right there on that patch. But not today. No, sir, no such luck. We was gonna have to work for this one. The trail continued up at the back of the patch. This was the hardest part. No engine pass no more. No, sir, this was real man's climbing. 100 foot straight up the face with just some cracks to put your hands. John Boy was first and I followed behind. Ever so slowly he climbed. Step by step, hand by hand. In a lightning flash, woo! John Boy lost grip with his left hand. He let out a grunt. You see, John Boy was struck stupid on account of almost dying when he was a baby. He never really could say a word. Being clever, though, he began to grunt to let me know what he wanted or needed. He got along pretty damn well, too, to be honest. Anyway, so John Boy let out a loud grunt as his darn hand slipped off the rock. Just like the master he was, he stayed a hell of calm and placed his hand back in the hold. I whispered, "Damn, John Boy, gave me a mighty scare on that one." He gave me a sheepish grin, continued up the path. Just as he reached the top, he stopped. Now, John Boy may have been dumb, but he was strong as a freaking ox. What happened next, I'll never forget. I started to feel a warm trickle. A stream on my face. I took a quick glance around. There were no clouds to be seen. I couldn't imagine what the hell it was. As it entered my mouth, I knew exactly what it was. John Boy, the strongest, the bravest I knew. Well, he was pissing himself. Suddenly I couldn't move. I realized that if John Boy was pissing himself, he was seeing something that no one could see and still hold their liquid. A new terror entered my mind. Drinking piss was the least of my worries. Getting wet on this cliff wall was almost certainly going to be my death. Just as I started to shake and opened my mouth to speak, whoosh! Just like that, John Boy was taken. He was lifted and pulled so fast, both of his shoes came off and darn near hit me on the noggin on the way down. I wanted to scream for my brother, but I knew I couldn't. I was a sitting duck. After a moment of silence, I saw a giant shadow appear above me. Whatever it was, that thing was large. Within seconds, I heard what sounded like dynamite exploding and small charges on the ground above. Boom! 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 All I heard was a giant thud. Bam! John Boy's lifeless body was hanging just over the edge of the cliff. For me to see his eyes stare me in the face, almost as if he was saying, "Goodbye, brother." With one giant motion, his body was lifted again and thrown out over the cliff into the forest below. He wasn't just thrown, he went a good quarter mile. As tears welled in my eyes for the loss of my brother and my own impending doom, whatever it was, it stomped off. The forest became quiet again. Still not being able to move, I held on for dear life. After a few minutes, I realized I had to try. Slowly, while still shaking terribly, I made my way down the cliff. As I reached the path, I fell to that darn ground like a lump. When I opened my eyes again, it was dark. I was aching all over. I started to wonder to myself if it was some kind of dream. But then when I noticed John Boy was nowhere to be found, I knew it wasn't. It was all too real. After gathering myself for a couple minutes, I took a piss behind a tree and started down the 50-foot path. All I could think about was the thing. And where in the hell was John Boy? As I finally reached the porch of the house, I yelled out, "Mama! John Boy! John Boy!" Mama was all 450 pounds of her, and she came running out of the house like it was on fire.
"Where is John Boy, Henry? Where is John Boy?"
I yelled, "He's gone, Mama! The devil got him!" She then helped me up. We went into the table. I then told Mama all that happened that day. I'm sure, and I'm not sure if she believed me. Hell, I wasn't sure if I believed me. But it happened just like I said, and that's that. They sent out a search party the next day to find John Boy. He was nowhere to be found. They searched and searched for weeks. Finally, about 3 months later, a hunter made his way to the top of a tree to lie in wait for an elk when he spotted something dangling from the top of the tree. As he got closer, he could see John Boy's red jacket and blue jeans. That darn tree was so high, they had to bring in, one of them police helicopters just to remove his body. In fact, the event almost became like a big celebration for the whole town. They had a town picnic and parade and everything, like my brother's death was a celebration party. But old John Boy, John Boy got the last laugh. When they picked up his body, his bones were so busted up, he fell like a leaf in the wind and landed right on the mayor's wife's lap. I ain't making that up. She let out a horrendous scream and went running off into the forest with her arsehole husband following behind. John Boy hated the mayor because he always made fun of him. I thought, good for you, John Boy. You got the last laugh. We had a proper burial for John Boy after the feds were done looking over his body. People say it kind of brought our little town closer together. I don't think so. I think it's BS, but whatever. I go pay my respects every now and then. Every time I do, though, I think of that day and what happened to poor John Boy. But I also wonder, what the hell was that thing? And where is it now? Oh, hell. We're gonna have to splice that. I missed some of it, didn't I?
Yeah.
Damn it.